With the new release of the Edge of Fate, Destiny 2 is being introduced to new everything. But let's go back to a simpler time when Destiny was introduced to a few weapons that would break the game and single-handedly dominate PvP and carry raids. Coming off some of Bungie's most unsuccessful content to date, we were saved by what many claim to be the best DLC ever, Forsaken. Forsaken brought a newfound hope for the game, the Dreaming City, the Tangled Shore, one of the best campaigns of all time, changing subclasses and weapon drops. Bungie pulled the craziest move I've ever seen them do, killing off Cayde, the most beloved character in Destiny. Players now had an emotional connection, and this made the player count thrive. Every DLC, players come back, but Forsaken was something different. It skyrocketed player count, and Bungie did what was thought to be impossible by reviving their dying game. With it, they brought some of the best changes, including Last Wish, the craziest raid race in Destiny history, solidifying Destiny 2 and returning it to its former glory and giving it that old Destiny feeling back. We will also be mentioning Last Wish later. But what changes did it bring? Well, we got new supers like Well of Radiance, double primary meta was now gone, and we got numerous new locations, all with great atmospheres. But let's focus on double primary getting removed. For anyone who doesn't know, in Destiny 2, you can equip a primary weapon both into the kinetic or energy slot at the same time. However, in Destiny 2 Year 1, you had no special weapon. Your energy weapon took special ammo, but it was just another auto rifle or hand cannon. Players hated this, and upon Forsaken release, we got the updated system we all know and love today. Forsaken saved that part for us, but what about adding anything? Yeah, they added things too, and maybe they even added a bit too much. Pinnacle weapons are commonly seen throughout the game as the highest level gear obtainable. When Forsaken came out, we got the deadliest era of weapons ever. These are Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten, Redrick's Broadsword, Revoker, Mountaintop, and the Recluse. Alright, that was already way too much to say and edit, but let's start with how you get these guns. Well, it was actually a little different for a change. These were PvP Pinnacle weapons, not from trials, but you need to level your competitive rank to the max, I think at least. Once you hit the max rank, you could unlock all of the weapons. With that out of the way, let's start small and work our way up from there, starting with Luna's Howl / Not Forgotten. So they're basically the same weapon, but what made these weapons so broken? First off, they had a very low time to kill of 1 second as a 140 RPM hand cannon. The perk is really what made it shine though. As a 140 RPM hand cannon, already they shot decently fast. Now pair that with the perk Magnificent Howl before it was changed though, not what it is now. None of that sissy stuff. Back then the way it worked is if you would hit 2 precision shots, you had bonus damage which did 2.5 times what the normal damage is. This lasted until you got a kill with it or missed, but it was super easy to proc, so you could just do it in every fight. Once you hit 2 bullets, the third bullet would take the time to kill down to 0.67 seconds. That was against a max resilience Guardian, so in a sense, you could 2-shot a Guardian if they had low enough resilience. These weapons were so good that Bungie ended up sunsetting that perk and it came back in the final shape. At least I think they sunset it until final shape. I could be very wrong about that. Real quick, before we go on, huge thank you to SkyCoach for sponsoring this video. If you don't know SkyCoach, they're a trusted service for Destiny players everywhere with thousands of 5-star reviews. With the new raid Desert Perpetual, players are constantly looking for clears, and I understand you don't want to waste your time, especially if you already know the raid. This goes for the new raid or any raids from the past. SkyCoach pairs you up with trusted players who are confident and competent gamers. With the Desert Perpetual raid already here, SkyCoach already has offers for that and of course the older raids. Every new raid, players struggle more and more to find a competent group, and SkyCoach solves that problem for you. SkyCoach is great for casual players just looking to get clears done for the week while balancing your time. Along with this, SkyCoach has many other game offers such as Elden Ring Night Rain, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and hundreds more. SkyCoach is also the home to a blog site that contains articles relevant to your gaming needs. Whether it's the grind to level up or simply the most effective strategies or runbacks, SkyCoach is there for you. Blogs, clears, and professional level service all around. SkyCoach skips all the BS and gets straight to the point. With their guaranteed success rate, everyone is welcome. If you are sick of the LFG drama, bad teammates, or just want efficient clears, SkyCoach is there for you. Be sure to visit skycoach.gg for any games you wish, including Destiny. Also, use code MIDWORTH10 for 10% off. Thank you again to SkyCoach for sponsoring, and back to the video. Next up, let's talk about Redrick's Broadsword, the predecessor to Redrick's S-Stock. Why were both Redricks broken? There's a pattern here. Anyway, Redrick's back then was also broken. This was literally due to Desperado, and that's it. This perk allowed the weapon to fire even faster than it already did upon getting a kill and reloading, and believe me, it fired fast. This made it melt guardians faster than a hot knife with butter, and seriously, it was disgusting, and this weapon was so good, it's actually considered to be the most broken PvP weapon of all time. I'm not even kidding, many players give it that title, and as a pulse rifle hater myself, I do as well. Also, I'm 90% sure it could 2-burst at low enough resilience, so there's that too. Alright, next up is a very short section about Revoker. People praise this weapon for being a sniper. The perk really wasn't too broken. The perk was called Reversal of Fortune, and it played into you being bad. It was like Mulligan, except it had a 100% chance to return a missed bullet. Not a chance, so it was guaranteed. It literally rewarded you for missing shots, and this led to plenty of people using it. Yeah, I think that's the only reason it's broken, so let's move on now. We are finally on to the 2 weapons that ruled over the game forever, leaving a lasting impact. So let's start with Mountaintop. This was the first ever micro missile. Alright, we're doing too much with these names. So to sum it up, the specialty of this weapon is the shot is flatter than Ray Allen's jumper. If you guys get that joke, I seriously love you. I made this quote in a video before, but to quote TH3Jez, DPS time, and I'm unironically using Mountaintop because for a PvP Pinnacle weapon, it sure dominates with its big PvE energy. Sorry for the part 2 of that joke, but it's true though. For a while, this weapon was the best PvE damage meta, and it was a PvP Pinnacle weapon. It was odd, yes I know. To be fair though, it was still very good in PvP, and the reason for this was because it one-shotted Guardians. So the micro missile paired with the spike grenades perk made it do more direct damage on impacts, and with the micro missile, it did more damage already, and that alone made this weapon a powerhouse, so nobody ever really took it off. It also had rangefinder. I'm not sure why, but it had rangefinder. Anyway, look at this DPS it did. Pretty cool, right? It was seriously so good, and it even made its way into the next expansion, Shadow Keep, showing off even more longevity from these weapons. And finally, we have the Recluse. This weapon is it's a weapon of all time for sure. So let's go over the perks real quick. This was an SMG with a great combination of range, stability, handling, all of it. It then re-upped on the reload speed with Feeding Frenzy, which would reload faster the more kills you got with a mag. After that, you had the Master of Arms, a truly busted perk, which made the weapon do even more damage based off of other kills. So if you think it was like a kill clip, no, it was actually 10 times better. The weapon went from 25 to the head and 19 to the body to 25 to the body in Crucible. That's crazy to say the least. It turned this weapon into a powerhouse. Every game saw people using it, and that's not even to mention the PvE greatness of it. The perks made it a staple for ad clear, and this weapon also showed a lot of longevity. The Recluse just dominated from when it came out until Beyond Light, when it was sadly sunset, much like the rest of this list. Of course, these weapons did come back, but never quite in the same power, except like Redrix, because you know, S-Stock exists nowadays. Sorry, I really hate that gun. But thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please subscribe. It's the best way to support me. And quick shout out to all of our community members. Special thanks to DeeJayLegacy, Yumi, African Ice Cream, Aiden, and Outsider for all the very generous gifted memberships over the time on my channel. Seriously, you guys are the goats. I really do appreciate it. If you want to become a channel member, there's a link in the description below for only $1 a month. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see, and let me know your thoughts on Edge of Fate as well, but I think it's looking grim to be honest. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next one.